Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Duncan Ferguson has held his press conference ahead of Sunday's trip to Old Trafford to face Manchester United. And there is, unfortunately, some bad news on the injury front once again. Morgan Schneiderlin and Theo Walcott are both going to miss the game. In fact, Theo Walcott could be out for the entire Christmas period. He's likely to be out for up to 3 weeks. Morgan Schneiderlin, possible 2 weeks. Both got muscle injuries. Probably brought on by the fact that they had to run a lot more on Saturday for the Everton team. There does seem to be a little bit of a hint that some of these players are unfit and weren't up to the levels required to put in performances like that. Maybe that's what Everton should do, is go out there and look for a new fitness coach. Maybe bring back Dave Billows, who was so successful as David Moyes' conditioning coach. Also worked with Tony Bellew as well. So maybe he's someone we should bring in to get these players fit, because at the moment our players are dropping like flies. Not easy to get players up to that level that you want them to be up to at this time of year. It's a case of having them tick over. You know, you want them to put the hard yards in pre-season, and that clearly wasn't done. And we clearly have a squad that don't have the levels at the moment. So those two players definitely missing. Yerry Mina, Luca Dean, Seamus Coleman, Fabian Delph, all in light training. We'll have to see if any of those players make it. Hopefully Luca Dean won't be missing at the weekend. Hopefully Yerry Mina. If we could get those four players in and around the squad for the weekend, then that would be a massive boost. With the Christmas period coming up, with Leicester Wednesday, Arsenal Saturday, Burnley on Boxing Day, and then a trip to Newcastle, followed by a trip to Man City, followed by a trip to Anfield. It'd be nice to just have some of those players coming back, and then hopefully January time we can get maybe Gbamin back. So lot to think about for Duncan Ferguson. Obviously going to be really difficult from going to Old Trafford this weekend. They're in good form, and when you just look at those injuries, he's got a tough task ahead of him. But the big question is, will he be in charge after Sunday's game? Will there be a new manager? There's obviously been a lot of rumours in the last week or so. Carlo Ancelotti is the latest favourite. Obviously David Moyes still in there. But another name that emerged today is the name of Mikel Arteta, who was obviously a name that came out quite early when people were talking about a new manager, but it was sort of dismissed, put to one side. Lots of talk about Man City not willing to let him go. Pep Guardiola saying this is not the right time. But it seems like the Everton board are talking about him. Listen, the list of candidates for the Everton manager isn't that long and isn't that good. Carlo Ancelotti, who's now available, has sprung to the top because a very successful manager at Champions League clubs. Does he suit Everton? Does he suit what Everton's needs are at this point in time? Would he put the energy into it that is required to turn Everton around? A lot of people out there would say yes, and I can't really argue with those people when it looks at his track record. But maybe Everton now are looking at someone like Mikel Arteta and thinking, this could be exactly what we need. A young coach who's ready to take the lead as the manager, and maybe following on from what we've seen last week with Duncan Ferguson's first game, knowing that an ex-Blue would get the crowd on side straight away, and maybe having people like Duncan Ferguson around them, who knows, people like Tim Cahill, people like Lee Carsley, that could really galvanise the fan base, galvanise the club, and drive us forward. Personally, I would love to see an ex-Evertonian be the next manager. I don't know whether that's possible. I'd love to see that. There's just something about the connection between the fans and ex-players that really helps and really gets the crowd going. But Mikel Arteta definitely been spoken about at boardroom level. It's whether the people in the boardroom can get to the heads together and make a decision that they are all happy with. And at the moment, that seems to be the stumbling block on moving forward on a manager. So we'll have to wait and see. Plenty of food for thought. Maybe we'll find out more next week. But it'll be a difficult job getting Mikel Arteta out of Man City at this time. It'll also probably be difficult convincing to come to Everton, taking over where we are at the moment. But listen, he's the assistant manager at Man City at the moment. I'm sure if all things are equal, becoming his first managerial job being at Everton, I'm sure that wouldn't be you know, that would be something that he probably would jump at. It just depends on the time more than anything else. In other news today, it's been very busy for a Friday. Normally I only talk about the press conference. In other news today, it's been revealed that Everton will put in the planning permission for the Bramley Moordock Stadium on the 23rd of December. So next week, next Monday, is it? Next Monday? Not this Monday, the following Monday, sorry. With some slight changes to the original plan that we all seen. A lot of some of the changes are not too drastic. It all comes down to heritage. Everton are looking to restore a lot of the original features of the area, bringing cobbles in and lamps, sorting out lamps, street lamps, and sorting out moorings for the boats, tradition, and making it, trying to get it. Listen, the big stumbling block with this stadium, as we've always known, is the heritage side of it. Convincing, excuse me, things like English heritage, UNESCO, these things that are really the only issue, I think. You know, the stadium is being designed. Money apparently isn't going to be a problem. It all comes down to, excuse me, frog in the throat. It all comes down to convincing the heritage people that we are not decimating the area, which is mad considering if you go down there now and see what's there. So helping with that, trying to restore a lot of the old features and buildings that are surrounding it, will go some way to helping drive that forward. Everton have obviously looked at the second part of the consultation and found issues maybe they needed to improve on. And listen, if you look at the results, there aren't many, and it's minuscule, but Everton are trying to go to the absolute finest detail on this and making sure that every box is ticked and every T is crossed and every I is dotted. And listen, also on that, who doesn't want a nice stadium in a nice surrounding area? Liverpool and that part of Liverpool is a very traditional looking city in terms of old buildings, and we want to keep that. It'd be fantastic to go to this new modern stadium, but set in an old traditional area, and obviously parts of the stadium reflect that as well. So I'm all on board for that, and hopefully that gets it through, and hopefully that gets it to a position where in the next 3 months we get given the go-ahead, and then we can get a spade in the ground and start building this thing. You know, I think Everton are looking at possibly the summer, you know, all things going well as the time they can get started. So let's hope it does. So that's a good piece of news, obviously, going into the new year. And so 23rd it'll be submitted and for the council to look at, and then if anyone else needs to look at the possibility of it going in front of, obviously, you know, the government rather than the local planning permission. So let's hope it just gets planning permission from. But with it being such a huge project, it might be called in just to be looked at because of all the money involved and the all the logistics surrounding it. So we'll wait and see on that. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments and anything I spoke about. Don't forget to check out the match preview that is available now. If you're on Patreon, the Footy Show is now available as well, so make sure you check that out. The starting 11 also, and any of the other great videos we've done this week. And if you still haven't watched the Duncan Ferguson interview, why haven't you watched it? Go and check that out immediately. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Click the bell for alerts so you know exactly when a video drops. More videos join us on Patreon. Monday is the final day to buy something from our shop. The link is in the description. Christmas jumpers or any of our hoodies or t-shirts. If you want them in time for Christmas, Monday is the day. Also, there's a link in the description for the Everton direct shop. If you're buying anything off there and want a little bit of a discount and want to help us in the process, there's a link in there as well. Like this training top that I have to wear because it's white and it means that the green screen doesn't ruin it. Make sure you check that. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching. See you later.